What's going on, guys? It is JD here. Hello, welcome back to another episode of the No Man's Land Road to Glory. And today we have played about 2.5 hours of Limited for a grand total of 2 packs. Yeah, that's it. My advice, don't play Limited unless you want to get the ring, then get the ring, and then just stop. And the 2 packs we got were Alter Ego Deluxe, and you best believe we got 2 Sapphires out of those packs. So, yeah, playing 2K today has been really rough, but we have made some decisions with the squad. We are going to list up some players tomorrow to sell for 24 hours into Monday, because of course tomorrow is the Super Bowl. Don't sell players tomorrow, not a smart idea. People will be away from their consoles, they'll be at Super Bowl parties, they'll just be watching it at home instead of on 2K, so don't sell anybody tomorrow. And then it is like the big build up to the final 250k qualifier, which is of course coming this Saturday, or a week today, next Saturday. So we've got all that to go, and then we're gonna have a big talk about Hall of Fame badges and how you guys can make millions of MT from badging out players. Of course, we've done it 3 times this year. David Robertson, KD, and James Harden making over a million MT profit on D-Rob, over a million MT profit on KD, and then over $500,000 profit on James Harden. So we've got quite a bit of experience, and you guys on the daily say, you know, I've got X amount of Hoff badges, shall I put it onto X player, or who should I put it on? So today, we're going to break it down on what you guys should do to really maximize your profit from Hoff badges, because it has literally made me about 3 million MT in profit this year from Hoff badges, which is insane. Way more than we've made from like playing the game by far. So let's go ahead and jump into it. If you're new to the channel, make sure you go ahead and subscribe for the daily videos, and of course, check out facebook.com/JD Crossover for the daily streams. As for today and like, you know, content, it's a Saturday, so obviously we got nothing. And yeah, limited pain. The team we were using was not this. We actually had Derrick Rose and who were we using today? It was Derrick Rose and Kobe. That's what we had. We had D Rose and Kobe. Obviously, we didn't have Embiid because you can't have that many pink diamonds and opals. But we had D Rose and Kobe. They are going to be on their way out. I don't really like Derrick Rose's release. It's very fast. It's quite inconsistent for me to time anyway. So Derrick Rose is going to be shown the door over the next 24 hours. And as you can see by this Marcus Smart, by the way. Hello, Hollow Boy. That's right, we've got a Hollow Marcus Smart, and he's just vibes. He's a flex. I love him. And then Kobe. Kobe is going to be on his way out as well. Not because he's bad. Oh my god, Kobe is so fun. But obviously, we all know Dark Matter Kobe is coming around next week. This one's got 30 Hoff badges. He should sell for a lot of MT. There's one with 28 right here. And there's another one with 28. There's another one with 28 there. So this is going to be a little bit of a barometer of how much we're going to get. This does have Rim Protector. It does have Quick First Step. Yeah, so this ends in 3 hours. I'll keep an eye on this. I'll see what it's going to sell for. But we should just make profit on Kobe. He's been a lot of fun. But, you know, we've got Terry. We've got Iggy. We've got Kawhi. We've got Devin Booker. We don't really need Kobe sitting there taking up $500,000. So I bought him for a good price. I was happy with it. I feel like we're going to make a bit of profit. But he was a lot of fun. Thoroughly enjoyed him. And then tomorrow, we're going to try out Embiid, try out Kawhi. And then Terry's not going nowhere. He's staying put. And then maybe we'll try a James Harden or Ja or Lonzo. I don't know. But the prices of cards are pretty damn steep right now. I've been seeing Embiid sell for like 400k for standard ones. I've seen Yeez sell for like 300k for standard ones, which is unbelievably expensive. People are really piling on to get their squads ready for 250k. So this is a basic Embiid. It's got 1 extra Hoff badge actually. 1 extra Hoff badge Embiid with a shoe, with a contract for 320. Now mine's got 3 extra Hoff badges, but they are Hot Zone Hunter and Bullet Passer, which are big. It does have a good shoe, and it does have a contract as well. I think I've timed that wrong. Maybe right. Okay, so 320. It might have got another bid in that final second. We don't know. So, I don't know. Maybe they'll stay. Maybe they'll go. We'll wait and see. But Kobe and D Rose definitely going to be on their way out. But they are very fun. Right, and then for Hoff badges, let's have a conversation about how you guys can make some MT. So, if you don't know the little history that we've got, let me just do a quick little run through. D-Rob dropped. He had 6 Hoff badges, and I don't want to say we were like the first person to do it, but we were the first person to do it. We bought David Robertson when he first dropped, took him from 6 to 18 Hoff badges, and he sold for 2.8 million MT, which was at the time the largest auction house sale of the year. So we did have the record. Not very long, but we did have the record. Made a ridiculous amount of profit on him. Well over 1 million MT profit. So that was 6 to 18. We added 12. We then made a move on the 2010s KD, bought KD for 1.1 million MT. We took him from 16 to 30, which still right now would be like ridiculous. We added 14 to KD, and he then sold for 2.6. So again, over 1 million MT profit. And then our most recent purchase, which, you know, we did get unlucky with this one. We took James Harden from 15 to 29, and we made over 500,000 MTs worth of profit. So that's a little story, that's a little background of what we've done. And of course, if you want to check out those sales and the badges that we put on them, check out the videos on the channel. And then right now, for me personally, I have got Ankle Breaker, Difficult, Blinders, Limitless, Chef, Volume, Green, and Clutch still rocking out in the collection. So we're still living pretty with a lot of Hall of Fame badges. So first thing we're going to talk about is timing. Timing is literally everything. If you get it right, you're in the money. If you get it wrong, you are screwed. So for me with this James Harden, I got the timing wrong. You know, and I can admit that. We had 29 Hoffs on our Harden, including Clamps, Quick First Step, and Interceptor. We'll get on to like quality of badges in a second, but in terms of timing, we just got it wrong. So for KD and for David Robinson, KD was huge for us because, or no, D-Rob was huge for us because we were just flat out the first person to badge out a card. You know, we took him from 6 to 18. Nobody had seen that many Hoff badges on a card before, so we were the first one to do it. So obviously, if you pack a card and you got the badges, you're living, you're dreaming. Easy stuff, easy route to a couple of million MT. But for us guys that don't have good pack luck, you got to wait that 4 hours when you first list up a card for it ending. And then you got to wait, and then you got to make the decision, how much do you want to pay, how early do you want to buy a card? Because obviously, notoriously, the first few cards sell for a lot, and then usually cards tail off pretty quickly. All you got to do is look at, you know, it's not an example of somebody you could badge out, but Ben Simmons yesterday, the first one sold for 700k, second one was 400k, and then after 5 minutes, he was down at about 100k. You know, that's a very extreme example, but that can happen with cards. So you've really got to just make a decision on your own at that time, a split-second decision. Is it worth it to buy them? And then you've got to make sure that you are quite close to the start of the queue, because that is what did me with James Harden. The reason I got screwed out of James Harden, he only sold for 1.3. The next day, they were selling for like 2 million MT with those badges. So we did get screwed quite considerably, but it is what it is. But it was my fault. I waited until probably about the 10th James Harden to buy, then badged him up, and then listed him up. And by that time, about 3 other people had already badged out with similar badges to me and had got in the queue before me. Eric and Shah, they had the first one badged out, and they got 1.9 mil. And that's just the difference of like 2 minutes. So it comes down to timing massively. If you want to get the first one, it is going to cost you a little bit more. But if you get yourself to the head of the queue, you are going to get more back. So it's a tough one. You know, that's definitely a per player basis. And then you've also got to make sure that not too many have been badged out by people pulling them. Because if people have pulled them, they're already going to be selling for a lot. And yeah, try and make sure you're the first one up. And then if there have been ones badged out, that is actually quite good because you can get a barometer of how much it's going to go for. So, for instance, yesterday, Wilt Chamberlain's, we had some shooting badges. Why is that one sold for 400k? We had some shooting badges. I was like, maybe I could put some shooting badges on Wilt. There was a couple up with Limitless, and they didn't really have any bids on, so I kind of knew not a good idea. So that is actually a good barometer. So if there's like 1 or 2, it's not too bad. But yeah, timing is everything. Then let's get on to how many badges, or the quality of badges. Quality and quantity, let's talk about that. So with D-Roll, we went from 6 to 18. With KD, we went from 16 to 30. And James Harden went from 15 to 29. Big volumes. 12 extra on KD, 14 extra on KD, 12 extra on D-Rob, and 14 extra on James Harden. So big leaps up. If you are putting 1 to 5 off badges on a card, expect nothing. Realistically, expect nothing. Unless they are elite badges, don't expect anything. To make a real impact and to make a real impression on buyers, you have to have at least 10. I would say double digits is what you should aim for. Anything more than that is very nice. And it always helps to hit like the next double digits of threshold. So with KD, hitting 30 is awesome. With James Harden, if I just had 1 extra Hoff badge and had him hit 30, we would have got a lot more. Because it's 29, I know it's only 1 Hoff badge, and that Hoff badge could have been dreadful, but that's just what buyers look for. So try and hit like a threshold, so try and hit 30. With D-Rob, if I could have hit 20, it would have been insane, but still, you know, 18 was still really, really good. And then it comes down to the quality. You have to have at least some quality badges. So for James Harden, for example, if you're trying to sell, let's have a look at this one, for example, a 20 Hoff badge James Harden here with no quick first step, no clamps, and no rim protector, and no interceptor. Don't expect to get, I didn't have interceptor, did it? Did it? No, it didn't. Don't expect to get more than a standard one. A standard one's selling for about $350 right now. This is probably going to sell for around $350. You know, that's 5 extra Hoff badges and a student contract. Probably not going to sell for much more than a standard one because it's not got elite badges. You need to sandwich the bad between the good, or the good between the bad. So for James Harden, I had clamps, interceptor, rim protector, quick first step. We really took him to town. For KD, I can't remember what I put on KD, but there would have been some good ones. And on D-Rob, we put blinders and some other good ones as well. So always make sure you got some good ones, and the good ones being quick first step, clamps, limitless, blinders, sniper, deadeye, menace, posterizer, rim protector, interceptor, if I didn't already say that. They're the good ones, and chef as well for a guard. They're the good ones you want to go for. So from these 8 here, the real big money makers, chef, limitless, and blinders. These are your filler badges, and you need to have plenty of those. For every good badge, if you can have sort of like 5 filler badges, I think you're living good. So again, going back to James Harden, for example, we added 15. Well, let's just say you added 15, but 3 of them are clamps, interceptor, and quick first step. And the other 12 can be bad, you know, just average mid-tier badges. That's still really good because it's got volume and it's got the badges that people want to see. So that is sort of my advice with the quality and quantity debate. So don't use, you know, right now I've got 8. It's not smart for me to use these 8 right now. The best thing for me to do, wait till Season 5 comes around. We'll get 2 new signature challenges, hopefully. That'll be another 2. Another level 39 with a level 39 second chance. So that should be another 4. Pink Diamond badge from Unlimited is 5. And then the other Hoff badges, I can't remember right now. But anyway, we'll be able to get quite a few when Season 5 rolls around. So for me, it's best to wait. And if you are sitting with less than 10, I would say wait it out. And definitely just be patient. You know, yes, it can make you millions of MT, but it only makes you millions of MT if you do it right, if you time it right, if you have the right badges, and if you choose the right player. So let's talk about choosing players. And, you know, it's hard to use yesterday's drop as an example because you couldn't badge out any of these guys, so we won't use those guys as an example. From the limited edition drop, it was very, very risky to badge out cards because you had Jalen Rose and Derrick Rose and James Harden and Lonzo. You had 4 elite point guards. You could chuck Cat in as a sort of top tier center. You had so many badged out cards all ending at once when that 4-hour mark came to an end, and the millionaires just didn't even know where to look. So it's not a good idea when there's this many cards to badge out a card. It's much easier on a normal content drop. Let's take Beasts, for example. You just know who the best card is to badge out. So you knew on this drop, it was the 75 AD. Because, you know, this Giannis, as good as he was, couldn't hold a couple of the shooting badges. He's 700k, wow. He couldn't hold a couple of shooting badges, but the Beasts AD, or the 75 AD, this was the one. This was the moneymaker, and a lot of people did make money off of this AD. A lot of them sold for like 2 mil plus. So, in my opinion, this drop, it was AD. When the KD drop happened, you know, he came out with Clay, but Clay wasn't a 75 card. You know, you've got to pick the most expensive card from a drop to really make the most profit. We did that with KD. It cost me 1.1 mil to buy him, but we got the rewards from it. And that's another thing about pricing. You want to make sure the base card is selling for a lot. The more expensive the card, the better it is. So this James Harden, when we sold him, he was going for about like 500k as standard. I think I bought him for about 500, 600k. You want to have a card that's got a lot of value as a base card, because then you know that people are spending a lot, people think it's a good card, there's hype around the card, and that means people are going to pay more for a souped up, badged out version. You do have the anomalies. Jalen Rose, when he first came out, was like 400k, and badged out ones were selling for like 2.5 mil, which is insane. So, you know, there are some anomalies. You just got to play it by each drop. But again, make sure you pick the most expensive card. Ideally a 75 card, because you can add every badge. Like, you know, KDs were great to badge, ADs were great to badge, CP3 obviously not, LeBron was great to badge, even this Kawhi was great to badge out. And just make sure the general vibe of the community is very positive towards this card. You know, so again, when AD came out, best center. When KD came out, best small forward. When LeBron came out, did people call LeBron the best when he first came out? Probably they did, actually, because he was the first open, wasn't he? LeBron was probably called the best small forward when he dropped. That's what you need to be looking for. and then you need to make sure you can put the right amount of badges on them. Also, make sure that you remember on pink diamonds, I wouldn't really recommend badging out pink diamonds, but let's say on opals, you can only add 6 new badges. So keep that in mind. Somebody like Jalen Rose, I had about 10 badges which he could have, but only 6 badges I could actually put on him because they were all brand new badges. So do keep that in mind when you look at the database and you think, oh, you know, I can give him this. Just make sure you check that. And if you buy one that's already badged out, and now we're going to get onto that point, perfect segue. Well done, me. Let's talk about piggybacking. So piggybacking is when a card already has a few Hoff badges, and then you go ahead and piggyback off of that, add more, and then sell it straight on for extra profit. It has been very, very profitable for me in the past, last year. Definitely worked out quite well. So let's take an example of a Jalen Rose. Let's try and find a Jalen Rose here that's half decent. So 21 Hoffs on Jalen Rose. What's he got? He does have blinders. Okay, so this one, for example, it's got 21. Actually, is this a good example or a bad example? That's a bad example because that's a bad Jalen Rose. Is there a good Jalen Rose here that I can use as an example? Is there a Jalen Rose with like clamps or quick first step or literally anything? No, that's a bad Jalen Rose. I think everybody's keeping all their good Jalen Roses for 250k. Quick first step. Oh my god, these are awful. Why have you got 26 Hoff badges and nothing good? This one's clearly good because it's got a beard on it already. Rim protector clamps, limitless. Okay, that's a pain. 22. Give me a good example, please. These cards, oh, suck. Okay, so basically, what you're going to do, you want to find one that's already got some good badges, which apparently there's none. You want to find one that's got some good badges. So, like, if I found a Jalen Rose here that had clamps and quick first step, but didn't have limitless, I'm looking for one without limitless, really. But if you've got that one badge that really then unlocks the potential of the card, Jesus Christ, the only ones with quick first step are the ones that are fully badged out. You want to find that one badge that really, like, sets the card apart. Final chance to find one with something good here. Nope, classic. Okay, well, let's just take this one for example then. So it's already got 20 Hoff badges. It does have rim protector. But let's say you then had ankle breaker, because that was in limited. I had ankle breaker. Let's say you got difficult shots from domination. Let's say you got glue hands from level 39. There's 3 badges that you could add. Let's say you got clamps from 2,700 cards and interceptor from 2,700 cards. Let's say you got posterizer from the first domination. Let's just say you've never used your Hoff badges. So you got posterizer from the first domination. Let's say you've got was Giant Slayer in a domination? No, it wasn't. Downhill's been in something. Handles for Days. I think Handles for Days was one of the options to pick. I think I've had Handles for Days. Quick first step as well. Let's say you got that. Deadeye was level 39 season 1 again. Let's just say you've got that. Green Machine was in the locker code. So that's 10 extra Hoff badges you could add. And then down here, Rebound Chaser was level 39. So that would be 11. And then you say you got Limitless and Chef. So like, and Clutch Shooter. That's been everywhere. So, you know, if you've played your Hoff badges right, you know, you can piggyback off this one, take it from 20 to 35, and that's when you're living really good. That's when you're making like a ridiculous amount of MT, and you probably wouldn't have to spend much extra on that one. Now, if you are going to do a piggyback, don't wait too long, I would say, because people will obviously buy out that card and then just do the same thing, and then the millionaires already buy out the stupidly badged out one. So don't wait too long if you're going to do that, but try and find one that's got badges that you don't have, that you can't add to it, to push your overall number higher. The overall number is very important, but also the quality as well. And if you can combine those two, if you can have the quality with the quantity, that's where you make millions of MT. So for me, it's a case of waiting it out now. We're sort of in limbo. We're just going to keep collecting. We're going to get another one in a week's time from Limited. So we're going to get 9 next week. And then Season 5 rocks around and we go again. So that's where we're at. And as for this weekend, Kobe is coming. If you don't know, spoiler alert. Probably should say that before, but spoiler alert. Dark Matter Kobe, Dark Matter T-Mac, Dark Matter Westbrook. So out of those 3, don't badge out Westbrook. And then probably don't badge out T-Mac and just focus on Kobe, because Kobe will be the most expensive one. And again, you always want to aim for the highest, most valuable card, because that's where the most millionaires are going to be looking. But as for the Kobe, I don't think he's going to have too many like insane badges that he'll need. I think he'll already have clamps, quick first step, interceptor, posterizer, limitless, deadeye, sniper, blinders, intimidator, menace. I think he'll have all of those. So with the new Kobe, it might just be a case of volume. You know, if he comes out with 25 off badges, you take him to 40. and you're living good. So that would probably be my advice moving into this weekend. But that's going to do it for me today. I hope that has helped you out. If you've badged out a card this year and made a lot of profit, let me know down below. Let me know the story. Let me know how many badges you put on him, and then how much MT did you make off the back of it. But hopefully that helps for you guys out. It's kind of a little guide to badging out, and hopefully we'll make another go at one in season number 5. That's going to do it for me today. Hope you guys have enjoyed. As usual, please subscribe. I'll see you next time, and peace.